Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host LovelyCheesePizza here. Welcome back to Let's Play some more Gran Turismo Sport, where last time we took on a new undertaking in this game, and it was fun. I loved it. We started up the GT League a little bit. We did some beginner league stuff, did the Sunday Cup, we did 3 races in there, and it was fun. Oh, did really bad on the Suzuka circuit in one area. No, it was more of this one. I had one super bad spot in there where I just tanked it right into a wall. But we won, so that's okay. That is all that matters. It does not matter really on the aesthetics as much as it is the end result. So that's what I always say. Let's, just for the sake of changing it up a little bit, let's go with the 4C Launch Edition. It's got the same amount of horsepower in it, still meets the guidelines, and I want to try it. Hey, look at that, putting the old slappy wag of number 2 on it. Looks good. So, by the way, right as I was getting ready to start this thing, you know how they show infographic things of just various events that happen? I said 2003, I believe it was when Wicked had its first showing on Broadway. And I was like, dude, my heart, I love Wicked. I went and saw it once up in Portland at the Keller Auditorium. I think it was a couple years ago. And it was super good. It was fantastic. I loved every moment of it. Made me super bummed out, though, just because I really wish that just once in my life I could have seen it when Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth were both still headlining that damn thing. I do not remember this track at all. I'm going to be honest with you right away. This looks like new territory, and that kind of concerns me a little bit, but we'll figure it out. So, yeah, dude, I wish I could, because those two have some of the most glorious vocal pipes that have existed on this planet. And just getting to hear them do the entirety of that would just... Oh, that would have been like an all-time thing in my life, because I love it. That would have been like seeing Rent with the with the entire original cast. I would have loved that too. But yeah, you know what you can do. It's I've not been to New York, so obviously I've not been able to see anything on Broadway. Although I would love to do that at least once in my life before I die. So gonna do that. So that's just a little mini tangent there. But I like this track, by the way. I like that it's at dusk. It's not dark yet, but I do like that we've got our headlights on. So this is pretty cool. I kind of vaguely remember this track now a little bit from when I was doing, the test courses or whatever, or like the driving experience, or the driving school, or the mission challenges or whatever. Kind of vaguely remember this course a little bit now. Hopefully we'll remember it good enough so that Kay Eichelberger and Sasaki and Paul Huisman will all just leave us the hell alone. Good old Papa Roach down there ain't doing so hot, though. He just got bounced out of 8th. Not looking good for him. Not looking good for me either. Oh, no. No. I should probably spend less time looking at the locals and just do the damn thing. So, I also got an update file from Fortnite with them. I still have not played that more than like a couple of times on my laptop. I saw a funny article about that, though. This is probably a couple, 3 weeks to a month. Gosh, I need to chill. Thank you, Hay Bales. I need to chill the hell out with this course. I am really struggling so far. Still in first, so I guess the struggle's not too bad, but when we get into later races where you got to be a lot more technically savvy, this is not going to cut it. I'm also using a different car that handles very differently from the one I was just using, so this one's a lot more floaty. So, partially my own fault. I'll probably switch back to the other car for the subsequent races. But I saw an interesting article, and I mean, this has come up numerous times for a lot of games over the years, but, Fortnite just so happens to be, the new poster child for this. Gosh, damn it. This is all bad. in the fact that, you know, some you know, kid's mom wants the game just banned forever because her son plays it way too much, and now, excuse me, now it has quote unquote changed him. He's not the sweet little boy I once knew. He's now just this game playing, you know, shell of a human being. How dare you make such a game, Fortnite? Ah, you guys just, you're terrible. It's like, okay, first of all, yes, how dare you, Fortnite? How dare you make a successful product that, you know, millions upon millions of people are enjoying in such a wildly high capacity right now? How dare you guys do what people strive to do and create a product that others enjoy? Gosh, damn you all to hell. Because a couple of kids out there, well, probably a lot more than a couple, but because there are kids out there that, you know, their parents just have no ability to moderate how long they play video games, and so they're just turning into these marathon players at the age of like 11. It's like, well, first of all, you're the parent. Kid lives in your house. You probably bought the console for him for, you know, his birthday or Christmas or whatever the event may have been. And you're the one that's, you know, not regulating his time played. So what do you expect? You know, I mean, if you're going to give him, you know, if you're giving him a couple hours a night and he's, you know, and you've noticed that there's a change in his behavior and it's not what you want, then take the steps and change it, you know? I mean, if the kid's not responding the way you want, then maybe you should take the games away from him for a little while. Make him, you know, I'm a firm believer, as much as I do game out and as much as I did when I was younger, my parents would always instill in me the concept that there's more to life than just playing games. You know, the fact that you're great at them, that's awesome. You know, that's something that you excel in, and that's okay. But you do need to be able to go outside and play with your friends, you know, be doing things out there that's not just being, you know, a few feet away from a screen. You know, obviously once you hit a certain age, then they, you know, their influence is certainly different, and, you know, there's so little they can do at a certain point. But when they're younger like that, you gotta take control of the situation, be the parent instead of just being the friend where you're like, oh, well, maybe you shouldn't do that anymore, but just, you know, I don't want to be upset. It's like, hey, sometimes you gotta walk in and be like, all right, you know, I've noticed that your attitude is not where I want it to be, and, you know, you're not participating in anything with the family anymore, and, you know, maybe or maybe not, your grades in school are dipping, and so I'm going to take this away from you for a while. You need to earn it. You know, and they're probably going to be pissed off at you because kids love video games. I totally understand that. But it's like, you got to do something to moderate. You know, there's got to be a balance of power there somewhere so that your response isn't just, I need to ban video games forever because my child is just turning into a gaming zombie for a while. It's like, give them something constructive to do, you know? Because it's not like, you know, and it's not like a thing where it's like Fortnite is just this, like, super bloody game where people are just getting their heads chopped off and such. I mean, you know, there are people dying, obviously, but it's not, like, it's not hyper-realistic to where it's like, damn, dude, this is, like, fucking heavy. It is fairly normal. What is, no passing? Why not? What the hell's going, what was that all about? I have never received a yellow flag before. Penalty on the play. Holding on the D. It's like, what was that all about? That was a strange happening. Also, this is a really, really twisty course. This would have been a nightmare driving that, what was it, a Lotus? That would have been awful trying to use that car with this. So I'm really glad we switched back. That was a smart move. So, yeah, that's my thing. I see that kind of thing a lot where, you know, I see posts on Facebook where parents are like, oh, this game needs to be banned because my kid can't stop playing it. It's like, well, don't blame the game for the way that your child interacts with it. It's like saying don't ban Grand Theft Auto because, you know, your kids, you know, act a certain way when they play it. It's like, it's not the game's fault. I mean, there are obviously plenty of people that can handle it. There are plenty of people out there that can moderate the way they play it. You know, and you know, moderate their time with it. And, you know, be able to do all these other things. It's like, it's a slippery slope. I saw that and I was immediately like, well, you know, you are part of the problem there, woman, because you're just, you know, expecting someone else to handle the situation for you instead of you doing some of it yourself. So, yeehaw. Alright, let's move on here. My throat is starting to hurt. This is not good. Speaking of racing games, by the way, I bought, for the PS2, and I'm super bummed out by this because I already knew this at one point, but I kind of, you know, I got blinded by, you know, by the hope and prayer that this was going to, that, you know, maybe it would be different this time around, even though it can't be, or just the fact that I forgot, was I went out to a used game store not super long ago, and I picked up the Midway Arcade Treasures 3, which was all racing games. So it had, you know, includes like 8 retro racing games, including but not limited to Hydro Thunder, which Hydro Thunder is the balls. I love that game. I loved playing it in the arcade. There was an arcade that I used to go to when I was a lot younger, and the manager of the arcade and I would go back and forth all the time on that game, trying to get, you know, the fastest times. And whenever I would actually beat one of his times, he'd let me take a free prize, you know, of like a free approved prize from like the little prize wall, because they had games for tickets and stuff. And so so it was pretty cool. We had competitions like that all the time. Also did that same thing with him on San Francisco Rush 2049, or just Rush 2049. I forgot they dropped the San there, or the San Francisco. And that I think may be my favorite racing game of all time outside of Top Gear for Super Nintendo. That is some rarefied air for me. It's on a pedestal that is virtually untouchable altogether. But so that was another one. I have very fond memories of that, and I had always wished for you know, that game. Mainly I had wished that Rush the Rock. That was kind of the intermediary, just kind of expansion version of the original San Francisco Rush that had the Alcatraz track in it, and all the rest of the, you know, original tracks were just kind of revamped graphically, and there were a couple of little added things in it, and it was just a way better version of the original. But it never had a home release, and so I, for the longest time, had always wished that there was a way that I could play that game at home. And so this particular game has Rush the Rock on it. And I was like, oh shit, this is awesome. This is going to be a great time. This, however, is not going to be a great time. Oh shit. Oh god. Oh boy. Okay, we're up by 10 seconds. That's okay. You somehow gained time in that. How did that happen? We actually gained almost 2 seconds despite hitting the wall. What the hell's happening over there? Okay, there we go. Now it's gone. I was like, we went from being ahead by 10 seconds, crashing horribly into the wall, gaining 3 more seconds, and then when we got around the corner, it went away. That was weird. But yeah, dude, they had Rush the Rock on it, and so I was like, oh yeah, I want to play this, and I totally forgot that the quality of the game is terrible. It is a horrible port of the game. The only one that's really decent at all is Rush 2049, but the speed of the game is kind of off, and like the way the game handles and controls is just really uncomfortable, and it's super touchy. But Rush the Rock was the worst out of it. The game is too fast, and just the whole thing is just so awkward, and it just doesn't feel right at all. I think the original Rush on this disc is like almost unplayable, if I remember right. And like the sound effects are weird, the graphics look odd, and just the whole thing, it just doesn't feel right whatsoever. However, Hydro Thunder, on the other hand, plays really well. I love it. That is a good one. Even though I think it plays without music, which is kind of weird. So it's like there's something about that compilation, which is weird for it being a Midway licensed product, that, you know, you would think it would have been much more polished, and if they were trying to do an arcade conversion, that they would have done a lot more to try to make it as, you know, one-to-one as possible. They totally just really dropped the ball on it. Luckily, I have Rush 2049 for the Dreamcast, which I think is probably the best version available that's not in the arcade, obviously. And then I do have, you know, obviously the San Francisco Rush games on the 64, which are great. Would have really loved for there to have been, I would have loved for there to have been a Rush 2 Extreme Racing USA arcade cabinet, because I'm fairly certain that never happened. That would have been great. I think I've definitely talked about that before. I think that low key is one of the better racing games. It's so much fun, and like the locales that they use are pretty good looking. I mean, Seattle looks fairly Seattle-y. The Hawaii track has everything that you would want from a Hawaii level, and you know, the New York ones look pretty New Yorky. And even things like Las Vegas, they kind of captured the heart of Las Vegas pretty well. The only thing they were missing was the spirit of Massachusetts. It's the spirit of America. That whole deal. But yeah, that's one that I would love if they're gonna like remaster a racing game from the days of yore. I would love to see that get a remaster. Have it look nice and polished. Have them, you know, revamp like all the surrounding buildings and atmosphere and all that, and just make it look really, really just brand new. I think that would be a great move. Will they do it though? Probably not. Just like how we'll probably never see like a, you know, like a remastered version of the original Max Payne. It'll probably never happen. We'll probably never see a remastered version of the you know, like the original Siphon Filter, which I think would also be just a dynamite thing to do. Because, man, original Siphon Filter, again, it's super slept on game that is just absolutely incredible. But, you know, people want more. People want just more rehashes of, you know, of FPS games and, you know, retro games that don't necessarily need to be remade. I do, however, subscribe to the fact that Spyro the Dragon should be redone, and that does deserve to be remastered. I didn't really think that they needed to necessarily do that with Crash Bandicoot. Am I still really wanting to try it out? Hell yeah, I am. I just don't have it yet, because, hey, definitely kind of sort of in the poor category. For the time being, at least. I mean, Michaela and I are working our asses off, you know, to make that paper, and you know, the majority of our money is kind of sort of accounted for already in the fact that we're trying to, you know, get a damn place to live. So, you know, we're selectively poor right now. We're trying to not egregiously waste our money in places where it doesn't need to be. So that's what's up. Okay, well, we have now finally jumped way out in front here, and we're in pretty good shape going forward here. But hey, look at that! USA, third place. Try to take 2/3 of the podium. I'm down with that if he can hold on. That and a good old-fashioned Great Britain finishing second. That's not too bad at all. Jay Sawyer. I actually know a Jay Sawyer. His name's Jared. Jared Sawyer. I'm almost positive he's not Brazilian, though. He would be the whitest Brazilian man I think that ever lived, if that were the case. And I see N. Magnuson. Every time I see Magnuson as a last name, it reminds me of like the old strongman competitions that used to be on ESPN all the time. They would always be on like a Saturday morning, and they'd all be guys from, you know, countries like that. They'd be from like Denmark and Norway and Sweden and Germany and Russia. So they'd have, you know, like there was a Magnuson in there, and like the guy that was always one of the best ones for the longest time, his name was Mariusz Pudzianowski, doing the Fingal Fingers. Which the Fingal Fingers, for those of you that are not aware, it's literally an event where there's just these giant like stone pillar things that look just like big fingers. and they gradually get bigger in size with each one, and the guy basically has to pick them up off the ground and, you know, raise them up and you know, push them over, and just do all like 5 of them or whatever, or 10 of them or whatever it is, as fast as you can, and, you know, the best time wins and all that. Those types of competitions were fucking crazy, man. Watching them do events like that, and ones where they gotta, you know, do where you flip over the big ass tire over and over and over again, or, you know, doing one where you're pulling the semi truck X amount of distance as quickly as humanly possible, and you know, doing the ones where you've got to take the big ass like cannonball thing and put them on these gradually higher pedestals every time. Gosh, those things are crazy. And those guys are just like these huge strapping mountains of people, but they're still remarkably mobile for being as big as they are. It's crazy. So, alright, well, look at that. We have done very well. I think there's still one race left to go. We won't have time for it today, though, because, well, I've just run out of time. It is now 7 o'clock. I need to go check on my grandmother, because it is about time for her to eat and take her evening pills, because that is what the doctor has ordered. So, with that said, my friends, I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to go make some grilled cheese sandwiches and soup, because I still haven't done it, despite saying like 2 or 3 hours ago that I was going to. What is our prize? Not that one. Give me that one. Yes! What is it? Oh, boy, that looks good. Mitsubishi Lancer Final Edition. I'm down with that. Super down with that. Arcade course unlocked. Fisherman's Ranch. It does not sound like a course that you'd be driving on. Fisherman's Ranch sounds like a weekend getaway, or something that's designed to be like a training course for a fishing game or something. But, my friends, we're going to stop here. I don't know why I feel like I need to save again, but I'm just going to. So, you guys take care. When we come back, we'll have more stuff to talk about. We'll finish up the Sunday Cup in the Beginners League of GT League. So until then, I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye. Wow, look at that Quattro in the snow. Sick!